So the next symbol we have to talk about are called bar lines. So take a look at that image. As you can see, there are these vertical lines going through the staff in that image. And what those are, they just help us see musical patterns and help us keep track of beats within a song. If we didn't have these bar lines, it'd be kind of easy to get lost. You can kind of think of them as musical punctuation marks. It doesn't mean to pause, but it just helps you it's almost like spaces when you're reading words. You wouldn't write a sentence with all the words clumped together, right? Because it'd be so hard to read it. We put spaces in between the words so we can sort of see what's going on in each word. It's the same thing with music. We put these little bar lines to just help us kind of space out the different patterns. Yeah, let's move on to our next symbol. Okay, so now that we understand bar lines, we have to talk about this thing called time signatures. Because bar lines aren't just sort of put randomly throughout a song. There's usually a pattern to it. So if you take a look at this musical example, you can see we have a time signature. It's these two stacked notes. It says 4/4. That's our time signature. And that's telling us the number of beats per bar or measure. The top number tells us how many beats there are, 4 in this case, and the bottom number tells you what kind of note is the beat. So the bottom number is a little complicated and can take some time to figure out. If you don't understand it at this moment, that's okay. We're only going to be dealing with 4 in the bottom. The 4 expresses a quarter note. So 4 times means there are 4 quarter notes per bar. That's probably the most common time signature you'll see in music. The bottom number can be all sorts of things. It can be 8 representing an eighth note. It could be 2 representing a half note. But don't worry if that stuff is a little confusing for now. Just remember that the top number tells us how many beats there are per bar. Let's take a look at another example before we move on. Here's a bar of 3/4. So 3/4 is another time signature. It means that there are 3, the top number 3 beats per bar. And the bottom number 4 means that those beats are represented by a quarter note. All right, let's move on.